Hey everybody, it's I, Stippling Vaughn, and I'm busy at work working on this page. Uh, Wayne Foster is up at Happy Valley Con right now, and Miss Stippling and I are going up tomorrow. So I'll be anxious to show this to him and show the work that I've done on it. Like I've said, I bought this from him during the summertime, and specifically I bought this page because it was in the back. It was in the discard pile. And when you look at it, I think what it is that this was printed on the paper crooked, so he had to reprint it. So, but working hard at it. I'm having fun. You can see where I've worked on this guy's leg here. The reason why I was working on him was so that way when I get down here, I can see the contrast between him in the background and him in the foreground. And then what I've been doing also is just going in and with the bricks, and so that way putting the texturing in, so that way it helps and pops. You can see how this guy's arm or shoulder pops out because of having the dark bricks behind the brick cement blocks behind him. So, but that's what we're working on right now today. Today is week 9 of signed comics. Every single day for this year, I've been posting images of the comics that I've had signed by different creators, and we are in week 9, which is days 54 through 50 or through 60. And the first day, which was 54, which was Sunday, was Dark Horse Presents number 36. This was signed by Carl Story. This is the very first Predators versus Aliens story. And I remember when this came out, they were teasing it, and they had like a alien story, a Predator story, and then they had the Aliens versus Predator story in Dark Horse Presents. And I really was like, oh yeah, I gotta make sure I share this one with you. And what's cool is Carl Story has worked on a lot of different sci-fi books. He's done Star Trek, he's done Star Wars, he's done Firefly and Aliens versus Predators. So I when I saw him at the first time I had him sign at a con, it was Baltimore. I said to him how that's gonna be a hell of a resume. You're definitely the sci-fi guy, that you've worked on all of them. I think it was, he chuckled. He was like, yeah. I'm like, he's very fortunate that he's been able to work on so many prestigious sci-fi stories. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that this one was in the collection. And Carl's also different, where he uses a purple Sharpie to sign books, which I think is very cool. His signature always stands out from everybody else's because of that. And then the next day was day 55, and we were Dreadstar number 55. Did not plan that. Artwork was by Angel Medina. This was when Angel Medina and Keith David took over Dreadstar, and they were like kind of going in a whole new direction. Had the little alien kid that was like growing quickly, and they had eventually turned into the main threat. I liked this issue because Angel's artwork is so neat. It's so expressive, but at the same time also it's like he's very good at doing exaggeration, but still having a lot of detail and making it look realistic and real, which is very beneficial for an artist. So, and what's really neat was because he was working out in LA, he knew about Guns N' Roses before Guns N' Roses made it big. So he had the big splash page where all the characters are in this alien bazaar. He had different booths with different like wackadoodle stuff being sold, and at one of them he had a Guns N' Roses booth, And the alien's going, yeah, you give her the roses, and if she doesn't like them, you shoot her. So I thought that was really cool. Like he knew about Guns N' Roses before Guns N' Roses really made it big. So, and then of course also this book is also signed by Jim Starlin. Now I did not have this book signed by Jim Starlin because of the fact that he is the creator of Dreadstar. I had him sign this because at this time, this is what made me start picking up the book. Is I had read. I think this came out after his Among Madmen book came out, and it was like a trade paperback, and I really liked it. It was kind of like a Walking Dead story where people are infected with a disease, and here people would go insane and they go mad. It was kind of like The Walking Dead, but instead of where mankind's kind of dropped into the fringes of where everybody lived in little independent little fiefdoms. And so after I did that, and I really liked it, after I did that book, he did this story called Pawns. Each chapter, there would be it was a chapter book, but each chapter was in the back of the comic book. So you buy the comic, you read the story, and then at the back of it, you had the Jim Starlin's Pawns, and it was each chapter, and have like two drawings inside the chapter. So you give you an idea of what the environment was that these characters were living in, and it was a science fiction or an alien planet, and I really enjoyed this. So when I started to go to cons and give Jim Starlin signed books, I was having him always sign at least one issue of Dreadstar, so that way I would have another chapter of the story signed. So that's the reason why I had him sign, not because he created Dreadstar, because at the time, I hadn't gotten any of the original run of Dreadstar that he had done. So, and as you can see right here, what I'm doing is as you're watching, remember there was an ink splotch like that, and what I've done is I've gone in and I have blacked it out, and then this area here, because he's got lines where like a shadow would be, and most artists would just put the lines in, show like the underside of the muscle. What I'm doing is I'm putting in dots. So by putting in a series of broken up dots, it creates that depth of that muscle here. So you got that, and then you just go in and just go in, just hammering and putting in dark underneath here, and by going in dark underneath of it, you get that dimension of the underside of the muscle. And by doing that, what I'll do also is I'll go harder and make this with the dots be in much closer proximity. Press more on the nib itself, so it creates a much larger dot, and that's how you get that transition from small dots separated apart to larger dots close together. So that's where we ended with the D's. We finished up the D's, guys. So we go back to DC. And I looked at DC, and I didn't have anything really for DC except for 3 issues of Earth 2. So the first one, which was Day 56, was Earth 2, issue 20. Now, Nicoletta Scott, she was doing, she was the ongoing creator of this book. And you know how most artists, they need, a lot of times, like maybe like every 5 or 6 issues, they need to have a fill-in artist so they can get caught up, because it takes a lot of time to create such superior artwork that even she was doing. So a lot of times when you have a fill-in artist, it's not really, it's the artist isn't that great. This time wasn't the case because issue 20, which was have a fill-in artist other than Nicholas Smith, was Barry Keatson. So I was very excited that Barry Keatson did this because I do like Barry Keatson's artwork. So for him to be the fill-in artist for this, that was a real treat. So I had him sign it. And then the next issue, which was Earth 2 issue 26, which was day 57. I had what it was at that time. Taking selfies was becoming big, whereas now it's just common. At the time, the phenomenon of having a selfie stick and taking selfies was just becoming big. So DC had a series of variant covers of all their books with characters taking a selfie of themselves. And this was important for me for one specific reason. Okay, A, you have Kevin Maguire doing it. Kevin Maguire does humor. He's very good at humor. So having characters doing a selfie or taking a selfie and then drawing the characters taking a selfie of themselves, that's just right off his angle with how he draws. The importance of this issue, okay, is this. When you look at this issue, at this cover, and you see the Alan Scott Green Lantern, who is the gay one, not the Alan Scott that we all know, who is the father of Jade and Obsidian, okay, that is not the gay Green Lantern. This Alan Scott, for this version of Earth 2, he is. They made the announcement that this Green Lantern was gay, and this was because they made that announcement right when Marvel Comics was doing the North Star wedding, and it was getting a lot of press. So DC was like, we got one of our characters has to come out of the closet. We got to make one of our characters gay, and they made Alan Scott of Earth 2, of this version of Earth 2, the gay character. And here's the thing. I've had this discussion with other fans and whatnot, and other people online, is you look at how they do, go back on Twitter and look at this cover, as a zoom in. You look at how he did the cheek lines and how he did the corners of the mouth, okay? That's become indicative and stereotypical of how you draw someone who is homosexual, how you draw their mouth. And what they'll do is let's see here, let's flip this over. So let's say it's here, okay? A lot of times what they'll do is they'll go in and they'll put in, like, here, let's do a pencil. A lot of times what they'll do is they go in, they put it up higher, and then they make it crease, and they come down like this, okay? And then they'll a lot of times add like a second line. Those lines are always have been there, but they add them so that way the character has that, hi, I'm gay, you know, like how, and sorry, it's stereotypical, but that's the way it is. And that is how Kevin Maguire did that version of Green Lantern to show that he is gay. That is become, many artists do that as a crutch because that's how they think it's popular. The problem is when you do characters like this and you're starting to draw them like that, the problem is they don't look heroic. Okay? If anything, and this is not towards a homosexual person in real life, but how they're doing them now in comics by drawing those extra lines in, so it almost has it, hey, is very condescending. towards others. And I feel that before it became in vogue to always draw your characters that way and weaken so they don't look masculine and they don't look heroic. Because that's the biggest thing, is that it's not about, because you think of it like, when Brian Hitch did The Midnighter and Apollo, he didn't draw them that way. He drew them as masculine, heroic characters. Were they homosexuals? Yes, but they were still heroic and masculine. And that is what's now lacking from so many characters now in comics, is they don't make these characters masculine. And that's the reason why I see so many people now gravitating towards the independent indie scene, is because we want comics that are well done, and we don't want we want characters that are heroic and something that, as Graham Nolan puts it, what you aspire to. And they're not being that way in how they're being rendered and how they're being presented anymore. So looking back on it, you can see where that's where the beginning of the demasculization of heroes. Because remember, they made a big deal about how this version of Alan Scott was homosexual, but they wiped him out completely, wiped almost all the Earth 2 characters out when they did when DC did the, what is it called? It was the Convergence series. After the Convergence series, you never saw this version of Alan Scott or that version of Flash ever again. And I think it's sad. It's sad that instead of keeping those characters around and making some of them, they just discarded them and said, okay, now Alan Scott is gay, when the original Alan Scott was never gay. So I find that's very disrespectful to the fans and the lineage of the character. So, and then after that we have Day 58, Earth 2, number issue 27, done by Andy Smith. And this was a really good issue that I liked, because Andy Smith got to draw Batman, and it wasn't the typical Batman, it was the Earth 2 Batman. And the way they had it was, the Earth 2 Batman, Bruce Wayne, had passed away. His father, Thomas Wayne, was taking up the mantle, and they had him as a very bitter, angry old man taking over the mantle, which I looked at that as was like, that's not how it was. I mean, first of all, they have him going up against his granddaughter, the Huntress, and that's not how Batman was. That's not how the Earth 2 Batman was. He was proud to be fighting crime with his daughter. He was proud about the fact that his daughter had embraced both sides of her parents' lineage, both him as the Batman and her mother, Selina, as the Catwoman. And so I did enjoy how Andy Smith, and this is a great cover of the Huntress swooping in and confronting Thomas Wayne. And again, you look at it, how this cover is very dynamic. Even though it's one of those where she's just sweeping in to confront her father, it's still very dynamic in how the layout of the page was. So, and then from here we go to the Ease of Marvel, and the first one I put up was Excalibur issue 3, done and signed by Alan Davis. And this was I really liked this issue. They're really right off the bat with Excalibur. They made it clear that this was a superhero book, but that they were including humor in it, and it wasn't stupid humor. It was respectful, smart humor. And I liked how this cover embraces that with how Captain Britain is on the ground. He's been stomped on, and he's got this surprised, perplexed look. And there's more to that. There's more where that came from. And in the background is the Juggernaut, and you see the footsteps leading back, showing that the Juggernaut just completely just stepped over and just completely it was like discarded Captain Britain as if he's nothing to him. And it was. I mean, when they did this issue, he took care of Captain America with no problem whatsoever. And it took Phoenix, Rachel Gray, to swoop in and use her kinetic, knock off his helmet, and use her telepathic abilities to subdue Juggernaut. And how Juggernaut was, again, Juggernaut was kind of like not happy about it, but how she completely overpowered him. So that's the reason why I wanted to make sure that this was the Excalibur issue that I showed you, that I presented to you guys to see and share with you. So, and then after that, we go to day 60 today. And we have Exiles, issue 60. Not planned, guys. Not planned at all. In fact, I originally had another issue to show to you guys, and I was kind of like, nah, let's not show that issue. We'll show another issue. So that's where I decided, and I had inadvertently created a happy mistake with having Exiles number 60 as the 60th signed book to show you guys of 2025. Or, yeah, of 2025. Sorry about that, guys. Excuse me again. But yeah, I like this. I'm talking too much. You're going to need a throat lozenge. But this was a nice one. This was the Exiles were doing what was called the World Tour, or the Multiverse Tour, where the characters up until this point, they were going into altered realities or the multiverse and making and fighting threats, but they were all like made up. This was the first time they started like, well, instead of just doing these like made up version, like this version of Marvel Earth was taken over by Incredible Hulks and and everybody, like spread like a zombie virus. And this one, it was a techno virus. Like everybody was like converting to techno versions of Warlock. No, this one was completely different. They visited a reality we already knew about, and that was the Age of Apocalypse. And they would visit on many other different Earths that were familiar at this point, which was very entertaining. So I wanted this was signed by Jim Calafor and Mark McKenna. Mark McKenna will be up at Happy Valley Con, and so I'll be seeing him tomorrow. I've already got those books set aside for him to sign. So we're going to have a good day tomorrow. We're going to go up there, and then after we've gone through and looked at the show, Miss Stippling will look up, and she will pick out a restaurant with the local flair, if you will, and we will go there to eat and then come home. So, but yeah, we're going to have a good day tomorrow, and because we're going to be doing this trip tomorrow, there will be no Sunday Stippling video. You're only getting today's video. But starting next week, even next week, I'll still be working on this one because I do have a commission that I'm going to be starting soon, but I can't work on it while I am doing my videos because I don't want to see the recipient of this commission to watch the video and the surprise will be ruined. I'm not going to do that. So, and then next week also, on the 7th of March. Camelot will be in Phoenix racing, and he has a big announcement. He has another big sponsor for his team. So, and this is what you got to do, is to race. You got to get sponsorships to be able to race, and he's doing that. He's with him first last year with getting Ethan to assist with a crowdfunder, and now, which led to him getting Tim Pool to help him. Now he's going one step further with Flux. So Flux is a Bitcoin service. So they've signed on with him. So I'm looking forward. Things are looking really good for him, and with more sponsorship comes more opportunities, and helps him keep living his dream. So I'm very happy for him. But yeah, he'll be in Phoenix on the 7th. So check it out. I know I'll be watching that race. So guys, I'm having a great day. You know I'm having a great day because I'm stippling like crazy. Sorry. Ooh, where'd that voice come from? So you have a great day. I'm having a great day. But remember, life is stressful, and that's why you just take it all one dot at a time.